In the weeks following an East Texas mother's death, hotels and motels across the country sprang into action to make sure 911 was more easily accessible from guest rooms.
But in July, the hotel where she was murdered still had not fixed that problem. For months, we have been following Carrie Renee Hunt's story. She was stabbed to death in a Marshall hotel room last December. Her young children were in the room with her. One of them tried to call 911, but the call never went through because that phone required the children to dial a 9 first to get an outside line. Tonight, KLTV7's Melanie Torrey investigates.
Dial 911. No extra nines needed. It's a mission Hank Hunt and his family started just 2 weeks after his daughter's death. In December, Carrie Renee Hunt agreed to meet her husband at this Marshall motel so he could visit with their children. But things turned violent. Carrie was murdered. Her husband, Brad Allen Dunn, was charged with her death. Carrie's oldest daughter, just 9 years old, did what anyone would do. She called 911, but that call never went through. That's because the motel required guests to dial 911 to reach police. 3 weeks ago, Carrie's father returned to the motel and asked the staff if the problem was fixed.
Went to a room and I dialed 911 and there was no answer. It was a busy signal. And I tried it 4 times, just like my granddaughter did. And every time was a busy signal.
Other local hotels, even hotels across the country, had taken it upon themselves to reconfigure their phone systems immediately after Carrie's death, but not the hotel where she was actually killed. We reached out to the Baymont Inn & Suites hotel group Wyndham, asking why this was still a problem. A few days later, they told us this. 100% of our company's owned and managed hotel properties are now configured to allow guests to directly dial 911 from their guest room phones. They went on to say, with respect to this particular franchised hotel, while we cannot speak on behalf of the owner, our understanding is that the property's telephone system has been reconfigured to allow guests to directly dial 911 from the guest rooms. We didn't just take their word, we put it to the test. We got our own room at the Baymont Inn & Suites. Then from that room, we made a test call to Marshall 911. First, we let the police department know what we were doing.
I need to make a test 911 call from a local business, but I just wanted to give you guys a heads up first.
Then we dialed. The phone rang for 10 seconds, then a dispatcher picked up.
Hi, this is Melanie Torrey with KLTV. I'm making a test 911 call, and I wanted to see what business name and address is showing up on your end.
The dispatcher told me the correct address, but said I was at the La Quinta, which is actually here, a half a mile south of the Baymont Inn & Suites. If you take a look, you'll notice both hotels are on the same street, South East End Boulevard. However, they're on opposite sides of the interstate. They
may have gone passed right by it and went to another hotel because the information they were receiving was from La Quinta Inn, and 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old child's not going to know the name of the hotel they're at.
To bring the problem to light, the Hunt family started a petition on change.org. They want dialing 911 to be just that simple, no matter where or what phone you're calling from.
I believe it was strictly due to that petition that we've gotten what we've done accomplished already.
When we first sat down with the Hunt family in December, they had just under 3,000 signatures. Today, they're approaching 500,000.
Every comment that we get on it is, I just did not know that. I didn't know it. And that's what we're trying to do, get some awareness out there.
That awareness is reaching far and wide. This month, Illinois State Governor Pat Quinn signed a universal 911 bill into law.
That's one, and we've got 49 to go.
In 2015, people must be able to reach 911 from any Illinois hotel or business without dialing a prefix first.
I never thought about it. I never realized there was an issue.
Texas State Senator Kevin Eltife says it's something the Texas legislature should take a serious look at.
There's always a balance of how much regulation versus safety and, you know, what kind of burden you put on business. But in my opinion, this is something that could easily be resolved and we ought to look into.
Eltife says it's also legislation the hotel industry would likely be on board with.
When I work on an issue like this in Austin, I usually get the industry involved into the room and discuss it with them. And my guess is from the hotel industry, they would probably welcome wanting to work on legislation that would solve it long term.
I hate laws. I hate making new laws. But if we're going to do away, not create a law for this, then why have one for fire extinguishers? Why have one for sprinkler heads in buildings, fire exits? This is all along the lines of the same thing.
And it's something that the Hunt family is determined to see through, not just for Carrie, but for any adult or child who needs help.
I want it done yesterday because that's who I am. But I'm trying to be patient. We'll get there.
In Marshall, Melanie Torrey, KLTV 7 News.
After our test 911 call, we went to the motel's front office and asked them to do an interview. The manager on duty declined, so we left our name and our number for the owner, who we were told was not available. We did not hear back from them. We also reached out to the Wyndham Hotel Group to let them know that their hotel name was not properly registered. Now, if you want to follow Carrie's family story, their petition is still growing on change.org. We have put a link to that in the big red box on kltv.com. Just go there and click on Carrie's Law.